President Bola Tinubu appoints Shamsuddin Babatunde Ogunjimi as the new Accountant General of the Federation after a rigorous selection process. Plus, on the news, Lagos State Special Offences Court in Ikeja remands Jude Okoye for alleged theft of $1 million and £34,537. From the international scene, Ukrainians voiced their shock and dismay at the U.S. pausing its military aid to the country, what one politician called a dangerous situation. Details of these and more coming your way soon. Do stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now, details of the news. President Bola Tinubu has appointed Shamsuddin Babatunde Ogunjimi as the new Accountant General of the Federation after a rigorous selection process. Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor to the President Information and Strategy, in a statement said this appointment, approved, takes effect from 7th March 2025, the same day the incumbent Oluwatoyin Madeyin will retire. Ogunjimi, 57, was first named as Madeyin's successor last December. The selection committee later chose him through a competitive, rigorous and merit-based process involving directors of accounts in the Federal Civil Service. The selection process underscores President Bola Tinubu's commitment to promoting transparency, excellence and competence in key public service positions. President Tinubu congratulates Ogunjimi on his appointment and urges him to discharge his duties in service of Nigeria with integrity, professionalism and dedication to Nigeria's service. As tensions continue to build up over the Rivers State political crisis, the Ijaw National Congress (INC) has condemned the Supreme Court ruling on the state, warning that it could lead to widespread instability in the oil-bearing Niger Delta region. The INC President, Professor Benjamin Okaba, in a statement made available to journalists in Port Harcourt, declared that the judgment failed to acknowledge the historical and political sacrifices made by Ijaw people in Rivers State governance, adding that any attempt to undermine Governor Siminalayi Fubara would have dire consequences for national peace and economic stability. Tracing the roots of political dynamics in the state, the INC emphasized that the Ijaw people have. Now joining us to talk about the issues in Rivers State, we have Chief Ogbonna Nwuke. He's joining us at this time.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Okay, all right. So let's first have your reaction on the current political situation in Rivers State right now. How do you react to it?
Well, I think that quite frankly, I think the tension of so many months are beginning to simmer down for the stakeholders
Okay, all right. If you're still with us, what advice would you give to the governor and lawmakers in Rivers State? Network is not to our advantage this time. So now moving on to our next guest, we have Ankyo Briggs. She is the convener, Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us at this time.
For having me. My brother, good evening.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. So what are your thoughts on how Governor Siminalayi Fubara is handling the political crisis in Rivers State right now?
We must first of all continue to remember that Fubara is the governor of Rivers State. The members of the state are not the governors. The people of Rivers State in the hands of people that they have the right to and continuously raising the tension state.
Okay, all right. Now, with this court judgment, definitely it favored some and wasn't in favor of others. But ultimately, do you think that the will of Rivers people was well represented with the court judgment?
I'm neither a lawyer nor my judge. Everything I say about the judgment, it has been on advisement, has been on questions that I have asked. Now, from that, therefore, the court is the last has given. Now, we also have this situation where 48 hours since Friday, we ask people to see exactly what this judgment says so that the legal minds can interpret it and so that we can know the way forward. Till as we are speaking, that document that took only 1.5 hours to read, the Supreme Court cannot produce that document. So you ask yourself that whose interest is being served in all of these things that is going on in Rivers State periodically, that people can be dancing as they went over to another party. There is no denying that. They can deny it as much as they like, but they left the PDP and they have gone to APC. Therefore, INEC owes us an election so that people who don't have representation in the state assembly can have representation in the state assembly. The governor has said that the people of Rivers State, and I do agree, the people of Rivers State will have to make the decision to take their destiny in their own hands.
All right, and that's Anki Briggs. She's the convener, Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement. Now, moving on to other stories. A Lagos State Special Offences Court in Ikeja has remanded Jude Okoye, the elder brother of Peter and Paul Okoye, who is the former manager of the hip-hop artist of the defunct music group P-Square, for alleged theft of $1 million and £34,537. Galaxy News correspondent Lebi Joseph was there and filed in this report.
Jude Okoye is facing a fresh charge of alleged theft of more than $1.1 million and £34,537 before Justice Rahman Oshodi of the Lagos State Special Offences Court. Jude, alongside his company Northside Music Limited, had earlier been arraigned by EFCC last week at the Federal High Court Ikoyi over the same charge and was subsequently granted bail yesterday. The bail application for Jude Okoye suffered a setback at the court today, and Justice Rahman Oshodi remanded him in Ikoyi prisons, where he is currently being held pending the hearing of his bail application this Thursday, 6th of March.
We show at the trial that the dispute has to do with dispute of directors, and that this charge in the first place shouldn't have been filed. It shouldn't have been filed. And all of us, at least every Nigerian, is concerned that this matter is in court. And of course, all of you are aware that a lot of efforts have been made in the past to have this matter resolved, but the complainant has refused to allow anybody to resolve this. He has been recalcitrant. He has not allowed anybody to resolve this matter, and we have given an assurance to the court that this case is going to be a test case when it comes to issues of dispute of directors in our country.
In the charge sheet, EFCC alleged Jude Okoye of dishonestly converting the sum of $767,544.15 to his own use, the sum which was paid
for Adlakuta. The bill seeks to address the challenge of dichotomy between polytechnics and universities.
Is to amend the Section 3 of the Principal Act to include representative of Nigerian Board of Technical Education, NBTE, and MAN in the Council of every Polytechnic in Nigeria. The clause 3 is to amend the section 8, which is to seek to raise the bar in respect of qualification of those seeking to occupy the position of rectors in the Federal Polytechnic of Nigeria. The clause 4 is to amend the section 15 of Principal Act, which is seek to enlarge the powers of academic board to, among other awards, Bachelor of Technology, BTech honors.
On the issue of HND degree dichotomy, their own position, which is taken collectively as a board comprising the whole entire polytechnics in the country, is that we should move for the abolishment of HND, and in place of it to have Bachelor of Technology as a replacement, so that at least graduates of polytechnics will be able to compete hand in hand with other universities. And at the same time, they are proposing for a hybrid supervision, where the degree component of the polytechnic education will be handled by NUC, while the diploma, ND, National Diploma, will continue to be handled by NBTE.
A motion calling on government at all levels to pay serious attention to the management of waste pollution and its impact on health and the environment was also adopted by the lawmakers. Sponsor of the bill, Honorable Julius Ponde, however, called for collaboration among all government agencies for effective waste management in the country.
The House is worried that the consequences of continued neglect of our environment could result in, as it had often been the case, serious health challenges for our people, all in addition to degeneration of the nation's ecosystem, loss of agricultural productivity, and environmental degradation, especially in the coastal region of the country.
More legislative activities will be taken when the House reconvene on Wednesday. Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee told newsmen on Tuesday. Maresco said the polls could start having an impact on the ground as soon as in the coming days. Ukraine woke up to the news on Tuesday that the U.S. was pausing and reviewing its military aid. A White House official told newsmen that its reasons for doing so was to ensure that it is contributing to a solution. The president has been clear that he is focused on peace. We need our partners to be committed to that goal as well, the White House official added. While U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky have yet to comment, Ukraine's Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal said his country is still willing to cooperate with the U.S. and reiterated Kyiv's gratefulness to Washington for their support to date. Some Ukrainian MPs, however, have come out to call the decision disastrous. And that's it for now. We'll join us at 9 p.m. for our primetime news. My name is Iribami Salako. See you at 9.